It doesn't have to be my project. It could be your own projects. Okay. And this is cool that you could do it remotely. So um, the first thing we're gonna do is let's all open up our projects. Okay. Mine is closed because I just committed. I'm gonna open up mine. Again, we're at uh, 75. Everyone should be at 75 for the log. Oh, my last commit said ASD ASD because something was broken and I just said screw it. All right. And so once you open up your project, you go to your project settings, and all the way kind of in the bottom, oops, is your plugins on the left side, and you want to go to multi-user editing. Okay. Now there's a couple things we can do here. The only thing you have to do is put in the server port, and you won't see it at first because this little arrow will be closed. This is like your advanced settings, your advanced view. So go ahead and turn that uh, down so that you can put in server port 7000. All right. And as long as we all match, we're using the same port, this will work. We basically have to put in like 3 IP addresses and this will work. All right. So I already have this in my computer, so I'm not going to worry about my computer playing along. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of go through it all, and then I'll come back and we'll do it step by step to make sure that I leave anybody behind. Because I know people are still downloading the project, and I know people are still opening the project like me. So we're going to go to this multi-user editing section. You can turn on the toolbar. It will put it right in the dead center of your toolbar. It does make you restart the project though. And then you want to give yourself maybe a name and a avatar. This is going to again be done in VR as well. But yeah, name, avatar, color can be changed, and that's all I do. But the only thing you really have to do is 7,000. Probably give yourself a name, right? Then at the very bottom of your plugins is a thing called UDP Messaging, and we need to start putting in this. Don't do this one yet. This is me. This is a server. We need to start putting in our zero-tier VPN settings. So to remember, you can always open up zero-tier and say show your networks, and then see your networks here. You can also do command prompt and do IP config, and just remember that zero tier is it's a zero tier one. It's not your your Ethernet. It's not your whatever. It's the one zero tier one, and this is the one we keep on using. And you'll need mine again, so I'll go ahead and put it in the Zoom chat for everyone again. All right. So when my project opens up, which it is, I'm going to do these things for you, with you. So multi-user editing, I am going to put in my name, which is Todd. Hi, nice to meet you. I'll be a fighting violet. And I'm going to go to my advanced settings. And I'm going to put in server port 7000. So we did 3 things. Name and color and port. This is in your project. This is in edit project settings. Down at the bottom, multi-user editing. Name, and then bring down these advanced settings, say 7000. Here's where it gets a little bit, like just do what I say. I don't really have a reasoning for you. We're going to put in some numbers here. So we're down at UDP messaging, which is almost at the very bottom. And we need to put in these transport numbers, okay? So first of all, if I go back to my presentation, here, I said my presentation. We're going to put our computer's IP address here, and then you're going to put my computer's IP address here, and it's be with colon 7000. So again, that is 7000. So yours will look like more like this, where you have a number here with a colon 0. So let me first set up the server. My computer's going to be 0. 0.0.0.0 colon 0. That's hard to read. That's the unicast endpoint. Multicast endpoint, leave it like this by default. And then you're going to have a static endpoint and you're going to hit a plus for the array elements. This is where you put mine. Everyone should look like this, colon 7,000. Right? So that thing I just put in, you're going to have your advanced settings will be up, bring it down, put it here for static endpoint. Everyone's connected to me as the static endpoint. Right? Then your computer needs to be the unicast endpoint, colon 0. So it's whatever is in your 0 tier, managed IP, colon 0, right there. Obviously, these screenshots are from a different computer, so it doesn't match exactly the numbers. Just remember that in giant red, your computer, colon 0 for unicast endpoint, and server computer static endpoint there. Right? I'm going to move forward, and then we'll come back and help some people. So just rest assured, I'm not leaving you behind. I just want to get some people started. Then I'm going to launch a multi-user session on my computer. This is, again, just me, not you guys. If you had to enable the toolbar, it'd be right here to find it, but I'm going to go dig into my developer tools and find multi-user browser. Everyone needs to find it. Again, it's Window, Developer Tools, Multi-User Browser. Right? And they'll give a link for the presentation inside the syllabus. You can always be, there's a screenshot in the presentation as well. Again, this is where it's great to have 5 monitors, do all this stuff at once, right? And then I'm going to launch a server locally, just me. You guys are going to join my server. So this server is what's going to host our version control locally on my computer. And what's cool is that if my Unreal crashes, then it doesn't matter, because as long as this is running, I can rejoin my own server. I don't even know when this was made. Let's see, 4.26. This is actually over on the other computer. So I'm already seeing a session that's over on the other computer at the R Lab from another project we were doing. I am going to create a new session. I can also shut it down if I want to. I'm going to shut it down so it doesn't get it confusing. Delete it. I'm sorry, I didn't need it. All right, so go back to my presentation. We're going to create a session, and I'm going to give it a name. Once I create that session, everyone should be able to see it, double click on it, and join it. All right, so there's a server. I'm going to say create a session, and this one's going to be called in class 422. Okay. People who are with me right now, you should be able to see this, and you should be able to see me here and join. I'm going to go back into the presentation and bring in some people who might be still downloading the project. Okay, but I do need to see that Shanika's in there, and we're going. In fact, since you're here, let's go ahead and show the folks what we can do. Right now, I can see that you're in the project and that we're both in this untitled map. If I go over here, I can see there you are, and you can see me. Right? So let's go ahead. Why don't you bring in like a light or something from the side? Like throw in a light, throw in a cube.
Sure.
And I'll bring in a cylinder. And I'll bring in a light. And
I
we're
need
now
help
able
for
to.
my actors.
Oh yeah, so many things. So now we're actually able to build an entire world. So I can go over to this environmental light mixer, and I can like say, let there be light. Right? So it's skylight, atmospheric light, volumetric clouds, sky atmosphere. Let's crank this direction light a little bit. And now you should be able to see my changes. We should be able to build this world together. If I get lost, I can always click on jump to your presence, and then I can find you right here. You're floating around making things. So again, this is going to be done in VR and stuff. So why don't you make a landscape? Not to put you on the spot, but if you want to, hey, do you want to make a landscape?
Sure.
Okay, make a landscape, and I'll jump back to the presentation. Is anyone else trying to join along that needs me to repeat steps, or is Chinook the only person who's trying to jam it?
I'm trying to figure it out. I'm still just
Cool.
updating into it.
So where are you at in the process?
I'm wondering which, like I just have the file open, so
You have the project open. Okay,
yeah.
let's start from there. All right. So you're going to go to the project settings, which is in edit, project settings, and then at the very bottom there's your plugins. Okay. Do you see plugins?
Yeah.
Multi-user editing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's three things I want you to do. I want you to do a display name. I want you to choose a color. It doesn't have to be your favorite one. It could be one you hate. Give me your arch nemesis color. And then you're going to twirl down this show advanced, and you're going to put in a server port of 7,000. And I'm really excited to see what Chinook's doing. When I come back to it, I want to see what you've been doing. Maybe you brought in a tree.
I'm just making hills. I can't see your skybox though in my.
Oh well, so sometimes it gets a little hectic. But maybe if I do a little save. 1 second, I want to see the let's. Yeah, so I'm in multi-user version control now. It's changed that, which is great. Okay, so I'm gonna just hit save and see if that updates for you. I'm gonna say save. Let's see if that boots you or if it's a good thing. Because usually you're supposed to create content before you do this. Did you get kicked out of the map?
No, I'm still in here.
Okay, so I want you to go and find new map. And actually, can you go back to your multi-user browser and then click on where I am? There's a hyperlink for new map, and you can join me in my new map.
Okay, new map, I see.
Yep. And when you join that, then you'll be with me. And what's cool is this multi-user browser, we can see that the only thing we've done, we can see our history, right? We can see the details also of what we're doing as we do it. Okay, so now we're back together in the same map. Usually you want to create content, right? So now we're in the same thing, and you can see the skybox, right?
Yeah. Okay, now I can see it.
All right, so now, Sammy, you go back to this multi-user settings. You got 7,000 in the server port?
It might take an extra second just because I was still loading in as I said, I'm at the project, so I'm still trying to open up the map.
You don't need to open up the map at all. You're just going straight to your project settings.
Right. I mean, like the whole the project itself was still loading as I was saying that.
Okay.
But it's I see the process, the 7,000 in the server port name. Okay. And it's just gonna be
All right.
almost there.
After we edit the settings, how do we get to the multi-user browser?
It is in the window, developer tools, multi-user browser.
Okay.
Buried deep within. But while I'm doing this, you can add in a landscape into this one. Now that I left your old one behind, and then you'll have to hit save for it to show up on my screen.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, some things you have to hit save on, like a landscape. Things like moving actors around, turning on lights, you don't have to hit save.
Okay, so I saved a landscape. I'm trying to see if it's on the same map. I think it's on the same map.
Okay, we'll figure it out. I mean, this is fun experimental things, but I've actually been successful in creating some things before. So so Sammy, you're back at the project settings.
Yes, I am. I'm here now, so I got the server port in, my name, avatar color. Did I just press enter?
So now that you have your name, your color, your 7,000, on the left side there's this UDP messaging.
Okay, I'll plug in the. I see.
All the way to the bottom left.
Yep, I'm there. Okay.
All right. So let's first start off with this little static endpoint thing, because that's going to be identical on both of our computers. You're going to hit plus and put in the number that I pasted into the Zoom chat, the 192.168.192.245:7000. Right here.
All right, did it.
Then up on this one, unicast endpoint, That's your zero-tier VPN IP.
Oh, on the
Yeah,
multicast endpoint. Oh no, the unicast endpoint.
the Unica, yeah, multicast endpoint actually stays the exact same. You don't have to change that one at all. And so this is the idea of this is that the entire time you're on set, everyone's just in this live environment, and only at the end of the day do you commit changes, but everyone's making changes to everyone's local copies, and you can work together. So I put in some videos of some examples of people doing this. There's a great 30-minute example of some changes, and you know, I think it's less good for creating environments from scratch, more good for already having assets already put together and refining live on a set, unless you want to get bored and finger paint with your friends who are far away. So I can now see this entire landscape that Chinook has made for us. My viewport's a little weird. There we go. Add some trees. Add some. There's things in the content browser. As long as it's already in the content browser, we can throw it in. All right. So Sammy, I'm going to reel you in. Looks like Nart's with us right now. Nart, we're in the new map. If you want to come to this map, you can find our presence. Click on the map.
Oh,
It'll go right to us with this hyperlink.
Okay.
And then you can be doing a song and dance with us. So Sammy, you're here at project settings. You now put in your zero-tier IP in the unicast endpoint. So that's again just command prompt with a IP config. And then your zero-tier.
I'm just trying to find my my own IP right now.
Yep, that's command prompt and IP config.
So can I upload a tree on the content browser, but I think I'll have to update or push it to the repo for
No,
you to see it.
you can't add anything to the project right now.
Okay.
You can't import because then we wouldn't be the same engine version. You have to, again, it's like you already have the project kind of made. This is for refinements, but we should have some things in here because we have that whole. If we filter by static meshes, we do have plenty of things to foliage paint around, and then including this hill tree.
Oh, I see. I was
Yeah.
looking for them. I just couldn't find them.
Yeah, go for it. We got a hill tree. We can add in some house components. It's not much. It's very bare bones at the moment, but this is more about getting it working because now these settings are saved and we can just join anytime we want to. All right. So is that you high? Who's high?
That's not me.
That's me actually.
Nice. Nice.
I do have the unicast endpoint in there.
All right.
That's just
Colon-
whatever my IP was, right?
Got your zero-tier IP :0. Yeah.
Oh, you have to add the :0 at the end.
Yep. It's part of the format, but if you were deleted all, you have to manually add it in. So your
Okay.
192.168.192. Whatever your last numbers are, :0, and then you should be able to go to Window, Developer Tools, Multi-User Browser, and then you can hang out with us.
Okay, let's see. Windows.
So I'd love if everyone would make a sequencer and put a camera in a sequencer and do like a simple camera animation in your sequencer. Call your sequencer whatever the hell you want to. A nice sculpt, but everyone make a sequencer with a camera in there. And I'm going to show you how we can kind of play around with some sequencer stuff, which is kind of fun. All right. So this land's getting a little big. I have to increase my camera speed. I'm going to make a sequencer too.
Hey Todd,
Yep.
do you know why my unicast endpoint keeps switching to 0 whenever
Make sure you just like hard press enter when you're done with it, and that makes sure it goes into the INI file.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna make a little folder for sequencers inside of assets, and I'm gonna call mine Todd sequence. Todd cam. There we go. You now see a Todd cam in your world outliner, and I'm gonna throw in a camera. I'm gonna say, give me a little camera. Cool. I'm gonna lock in and add a keyframe.
Huh.
Move around. And a keyframe. Cool. Right, and so I see that the Nart has made a cam, and Todd has a cam. And what's cool about this is that, like, go ahead and I'm going to join Nart's sequence. And we both have, if you look at my screen real quick, we have this Playback Sync. So Nart, will you scrub your playhead inside your sequencer?
Okay.
So on my screen, which you may not be able to see, you're scrubbing it for me as well.
Oh, cool.
So we have Playback Sync. If we're opening the same sequencer, we can actually collaborate inside of the sequencer at the same time. As you add a camera, I can add a light or whatnot, and we could do that. I haven't used the second one. The third one is if I lock that one in, if I can now close my sequencer, let's both close the sequencer.
Okay.
Open your sequencer back up.
Okay.
You open it up on your side. It should force it open on my computer if we both had it. That
I opened
sync
it, yeah.
on. Oh,
Yeah.
did I just do it? No. A little funky. Maybe I'm gonna open up yours again. On your side, do you also have this third toggle multi-user remote open on?
Where is that? Oh, okay. Let me check. No, I don't have that. I think.
Okay, you turned that one on.
Okay.
So we have the first and the third one on. So now
Okay.
we both close sequencer,
Okay.
and you open your sequencer. It forces it open on my computer,
Oh, cool.
right? So say, okay, let's all open this one up again. Let's go back to it. And if you added a camera, do some camera stuff. What's cool is that in the end, and now I see that Chinook's got a camera in there. He can add a sequencer, and then I can make a sequencer, and I can load everyone's sequencers all together, right? I can make a while we're all working together, I can say level sequencer, assets, sequencers, and I'm gonna call this one like master or something, or main. And there's a thing called a shots track, and I can select all the sequencers in the project. So now there's NartCam, make it a little bigger, and then I can add another shot for Todd, right? And I can start stacking them, and we can start creating a sequence of shots while we're inside of this engine. And then I lock it in place, you see my shot, and then whenever you add a camera to yours, we'll have your shot. And so we can just be collaboratively making all these shot sequences. It's fun stuff. I'm gonna change the time of day. Something nice. There we go.
So I'm on this multi-user browser, and it's just saying no servers found.
You don't see any servers?
Yeah, no. And I think I put in my IP.
So the one thing I can say is the thing that I had a problem with earlier today when I was trying to get face tracking initially to work is that I had to turn off and then turn back on my VPN. It's like it had gotten stale or something. It had been on for too long. So if you go down to your VPN, right click and say show networks, and you can toggle connected and disconnected and back on, and then
Turn it
it'll
off
put
and
on.
on.
Yeah, then it'll give you that blue window on the side, and it says allow your computer to be discoverable by other computers, and then say yes, and it's there.
Okay.
So you can have multiple sessions within one computer, or sorry, in one server. Each session could be dedicated to certain teams, and you could be working in multiple maps. So we can ideally have literally the entire class in one project, working on multiple maps on multiple assets at the same time, refining the projects. So I think, this is something that's been around on Unreal for a little bit. I think I heard that even Premiere is doing something like this, and some other softwares are doing these collaborative ways of designing. And it's cool. It's cool that, it's not like pushing and pulling and that, which is such a slow project, a slow process. It's a while sharing that repo live locally over the VPN.
Oh, I know what's up. It's semicolon 0,
The two
not
dots,
not a colon,
just two dots.
just the 2 dots. Okay, well.
We can always get this set up. Like, this is again saved on this computer, and so we can always join it again later.
Right.
I'm just having fun watching Nart create a sequence. Been a little looky-loo. So if somebody could see me, you'd see that I'm like, actually, my head is stuck next to Nart's head, and then it's like shaking as he moves around. If you guys can watch me, it's kind of funny. So like if I think the first time we did this, we had like the entire class did it because it was just brand new and everyone's super excited. And so we had like 20 people that were all like just vibrating on a sequencer track. Anyway, this is the new. This is the latest cool stuff. Um, I'm sure you guys could think about ways this could be really, really interesting. Like, I thought it was amazing when I was studying like processing when I was in grad school, and I was like, somebody made the first like text editor that was like Google Docs, but it was actually compilable and stuff. And I thought that was great that you could collaboratively code. And this is collaborative world building, and creating all our sequences. And then we can have our people in live mocap. Nice, looks really nice. People in live mocap, and they could be in this world too. Live recording, we could be placing them, doing the vignettes. They could be stretching their legs. They can be, also helping us frame shots while we're building the level around them. So this is kind of like the one of the ways of going forward. I don't think it's the solution to use all the time. It is a little bit convoluted, but I think it's pretty darn neat. I've never tried it in VR, but it's supposed to work out of the box in VR. Cool. Well, that was a ton. We're at the end of class, but we did get the chance to do everything I wanted to do, which I'm super happy about. Yeah, we've now created some mocap that you guys can spawn into some of your worlds and levels and see poor Truman with weird alien legs and face capture. And we're all clear with. I'm going to kind of go over the syllabus one more time since it was a lot and it wasn't the beginning of class. Who knows what crew is here now that wasn't there before? So the idea is that you guys see my screen, right? Share the right one. So we've talked about virtual cameras. Here's documentation. It's optional, but feel free to play around with it. Get speed with it. Start making your blog post for next week, which is you've been assigned tasks. You need to prepare for these tasks, right? Write a blog post. If some sort of task you chose is like I want to do virtual camera work, then show some virtual camera work. If you're going to be doing, making an avatar, start making the avatar. Give us a process document. A lot of people posted really expensive marketplace assets. Are you going to double down and buy those, or did you find a free one that you want to get, or did you find something in my collection that you want to get? Or if by next Monday you can't find any options or something that just everyone agrees, let me know and I'll just go ahead and get it and add to the muck in my marketplace box. Again, you're doing all this homework, you're doing all this exploration, and you're a local project. Create a new one. It'd be one you've been using all semester long. Just we're going to wait until we review everyone's assets and progress next week before we actually migrate it in smartly, keeping in mind that we want to keep the project as small as possible, and then we'll go over the process of migrating the stuff in. Cool. And then next week, Kat Sullivan will be teaching, and will be completely just remote Zoom. There'll be no mocap. I think she will be here using this computer anyway. But yeah, she was one of my first students, so it's great that she'll be here to hang out with you. Cool. Any questions? Yeah, this is just simple stuff. Cool. Well, thanks for taking a ride with me, and I'll see you in the near future, and I look forward to it. Cool. All right.
Hi, Todd. Can
All
you
right.
hear me? No.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I have a question. Like, I tried to join, but then it says failed to join session, invalid version for patch engine version.
So
I
you're
don't
still
know.
at 4.6, 4.26.1. We all have to be at the same engine version. Are you at 4.6?
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. So just update, and then it'll work fine.
Okay.
Cool.
Another question. When I try to put my IP in the unicast endpoint, after I click enter, it changed to 0000.
So who else had that issue? Was that uh, I, I, I think Nick was having an issue that stopped him. Nick, did that stop you as well from joining in? I think that it was
It was Lucas that had that issue.
Lucas that derailed you. It should be if you hit enter, it will go into the configs. I have noticed in the end that if you just type it and then take the mouse, go somewhere else, that doesn't lock it into your basically this is entering into your configuration files. So when I those things, I usually like slam down enter and make sure it gets input.
Oh yeah, I tried to enter it, it went to 0. Do you have to like export or kind of save that config file somehow, or?
Maybe if you go to the at the top, does yours say not editable? It says these are saved and it's not checked out or something like that.
Double check. No, it doesn't have any yellow warning.
Sometimes you have to say make sure it's editable.
Yeah, it looks totally fine. I'm not sure.
Okay. Again, this is a weird, funky thing, and hopefully we can find something that's in the discussion forums about it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Check it out after. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And there might be some tips and tricks in the videos I posted and the further readings and stuff. Cool. So, to finish with the project, I'm going to show you how to do the cleanup. So if we can have our members now leave the session, it's at the very right of the browser, multi-user browser, say leave current session. So I'm going to be the goalie. I'm going to do cleanup. So but you can see here, which also goes, you can see all the version history of everything. All right, that's all changes that happen. So if our high member can leave, I can't boot you. Or can I boot you? We'll see. So now that we're done, I'm going to save. Everything is now committed locally. And you see this says this persist session changes. I'm now taking this from our local copy and then pushing it into our SVN repo. Or actually, I'm going to prepare it for pushing into the SVN repo, and then I'll commit it to our repo so that everyone else can pull down this map. All right. Yeah, there we go. So the last one left. I'm going to leave too. Oh, yes, I want to persist. So here's the stuff. It's some sequencers and a map. Say submit to source control. I can do it all at once, saying first multi-user, and then say submit. And hopefully it won't be borked. That would be a shame since we're making such progress. Cool. Just persisted, and if I really want to clean up all the breadcrumb trail behind me, I can either archive or delete the session so it's no longer active, or I keep it open for right now. No harm, no foul. And then, yeah, I'm gonna save again to make sure everything's done, close. And just to confirm, I will bring up my Explorer window and commit to make sure it's clean. It's clean, there ain't nothing to commit. Everything is gonna be pulled down. You guys can find our landscape in our autumnal scene. Cool. All right. So I'm going to stop the recording.